is Andy McCann with CrossFit Garage, where competition is king and routine is your enemy. It has been a while since I've done one of these videos. I had left most of this up to the other guys to educate and to promote themselves, and I decided after talking to a couple people about CrossFit and what programming is all about that I should probably be doing these because we always have new folks, and this information isn't always known by everybody. So here we go. So the biggest thing that I've heard so far is, hey, I need to lift, and we need to lift, and we need to lift. So let me show you what CrossFit is and remind us all why it works and why we do what we do. Yes, lifting is important. I like the joke where we say, hey, what do you do for strength? We lift. What do you do for cardio? We lift heavy. And so let me show you what some of the big programs are out there. So there's this guy, Ben Bergeron. You can go look him up. And he is probably recognized as the leading programmer. A lot of gyms are now following his stuff. And he has a class program that actually my sister who owns CrossFit Plant City, she uses this solely. But anyway, so I wanted to show you what he kind of does in a day. So you'll notice it looks very similar to what either we've done historically or what we're doing now in terms of the activity. But there's one piece that we're missing, and I'm going to go over that in depth in a moment. So there's a warm-up, there's mobility, there's teaching, rehearsal, and strategy, and so forth. Let's look at the workout. So the workout that the leading guy in CrossFit is doing, this is it right here. So it's got every minute on the minute, do some rowing, do some handstand push-ups, do some biking, and do some chest to bar pull-ups. Actually, I think that was very similar to one we just did. Let me find another one. Okay, so here's some front squat, build to a heavy single. So ramping up. Again, it's not that it's not there, but it's not every day. And then the workout is rowing and then thrusters. Next one, we've got, well, he's obviously doing comp training or programming for classes. So there was a redo. So here's another one for time, calorie row, and kettlebell swings. And so you're thinking, well, wait a minute, this doesn't it doesn't follow a typical program that maybe we've been used to in the past. And if you were around when I was doing programming, it looks a little different than that, or when Justin Metz was doing it. So let me explain what really. Well, actually, let me go one more site, and then we'll jump into what really is the key ingredient. It's not, well, let me just show you. So then here's CrossFit headquarters. So nobody really follows them anymore, but here's what they post. So Thursday, bike a mile. That was it, right? Then we'll go, they do rest day. So they program 3 days on, 1 day off. Pretty tough to follow because most people don't have an 8-day week. So then they do just lifting, so bench press, 5x5. Now I talked to some of you guys. A 5x5, if you do it really and you're a lifter, should take more than an hour. So really it's almost impossible to do a 5x5 correctly because there's a lot of build-up, there's a lot of sit around and waiting. I don't know how long it, well, I've been told it could take up to 2.5 hours, but I'd have to go research that again. Then here's CrossFit headquarters. Again, their program is Tabata some stuff, so if you've done Tabata. And you can poke through these and see, okay, their lift, again, they do only on a lift day, it's just lift. So when you say, what is CrossFit and how does this programming pan out? It has nothing really to do with all of that. What it has to do with is mechanics, consistency, and then the big piece is intensity. And if you go to, where am I at here, the CrossFit Journal, so or CrossFit.com, and you read what is CrossFit, you'll read their definition by Greg Glassman. And this is the piece that I've pushed a lot for a long time, and I got off that horse, and I should get back on it. The thing that really drives why CrossFit work is this intensity. So what intensity is in physics terms is it's related to power, and power is work divided by time. So we want you to do things quickly, so like a heavy deadlift real fast, you know, like boom, I lifted it, it's a lot. Or we want you to do the workout as fast as possible, or so forth. So we're doing work divided by time. And if you read this, you can go here, and I can probably link them too. So what is CrossFit? You'll see here, right at the top, so CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity. So it doesn't really matter what we do as long as they're varied and they're functional, and we do them at high intensity. So the next line down here says they move the largest loads over the longest distances. So they're So they are ideal for maximizing the amount of work done in the shortest amount of time. Intensity is essential for results and is measurable as it's work divided by time or power. So intensity is the key. So I talked to a couple guys about, hey, it doesn't really matter where you do it, but you want to force your body into that. I push and then I go so much that I can't go anymore, yet I do 2 or 3 more lifts, and then I drop the weight on the rubber mats, and that's awesome because I failed because my intensity was so high. I got to the extreme end. That's intense, and that's what we want. And so if you're feeling wrecked and you're like, ooh, this intensity, that's great. 11 years into this, and I still, when I push hard in a workout, get burned. And you would think, well, doesn't it get easy? And it doesn't, because intensity is dependent on where you're at, right? So as long as people, like for me at 11 years, or someone who's brand new, if we did the exact same workout and I did 10 rounds and they did 1, as long as the intensity-o-meter read like an 8 or whatever, then we're intense, right? Even though we didn't do the same thing, it's relative, which is kind of a pain because that means you have to do more, but it also means you're fitter. So if you go to CrossFit Journal, no intensity, no results. This is something that I was huge on for a few years, pushing that it doesn't, again, matter specifically what you do, although we want to keep it constantly varied and functional. It's the intensity in the workout. So I talked to one of the posters from today and is saying, look, if you lift at the end, it's actually sometimes can be better for you because you're already super limber and you've stretched out, but you're also don't have to do quite as heavy a lift. But the real bang for the buck is in the workout, you're not tired, and so you can be more intense, right? So you want to give everything you've got in whatever the workout is, whether you're following CrossFit.com, well, not the rest day. So in this workout, that was 18.3. Let's get a different one. So here, so they got some rowing. So it's, wow, all rowing. So I can't program something like that because that's slightly boring. So people want something more exciting. Or you follow comp training, you find his workouts. And so what did he do here? So 30-minute AMRAP with bikes, wall balls, and power cleans. So it's the work, it's the intensity that's delivered in here. So you want to be spent in this. You don't want to spend, for CrossFit really to have the bang in the buck, right? If you're already tired going into it, you won't be as intense. But on the corollary isn't true. If you lift tired, it's going to have a very similar neurological response as if you lifted at your max, because your body doesn't really know the difference in the weight. It just knows that it's trying really hard, okay? So it's that intensity. Again, going to a CrossFit Journal here, intensity and its role. So you can read through this. And a key part right here is down in this section right here where it says, and this is CrossFit, so this is the CrossFit people, whatever you want from exercise comes faster with intensity, so strength and endurance and all the stuff in between. It's not volume, which I've talked to a couple people about how much volume they're doing, but they're in this volume, they're slowing down. It's not duration, so I don't need to go for an hour. It's not heart rate, so I don't need to monitor. It's not even your discomfort, so we don't want you to throw up. What we want is to do more work in less time without overdoing it, and you will get fitter faster. Again, this is my prescription, what I do, and again, 11 years into it, I just PR'd my squat clean in a CrossFit open workout at, well, slightly after it, I guess like 30 seconds after, at 241 pounds. And this is what I do in every workout that I can. I try to hit it with intensity unless I'm broken or falling apart or something. So anyway, I will start doing more of these so you guys can reach inside the CrossFit information pool, and I can deliver it to you guys, and you can go out and research the stuff, but you will see stuff and start to realize, hey, this is why it works and why we do what we do. So a lot of the health attributes, like outside of just fitness, like, hey, I got off some drugs, like good drugs, like I was taking cholesterol medicine or this or that or whatever, a lot of that they're attributing to the intensity of what we do. So the intensity, the tear down, build up, and the push is what's delivering a lot of these unexpected results that have come, and you can Google and see, that have come out of CrossFit for so long. Okay, well anyway, I hope that helps. Hope that makes some more sense, and I will start trying to do more of these to help educate everyone and remind us why we do what we do. All right, take care.